So this video will cover 5 productivity hacks which can save you so many minutes and maybe hours. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Aakash. I'm a CS student and a productivity enthusiast. Now, let's get started. One of the basic things you can do in order to save your time is to consume content, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify or some audiobook on Audible in higher speed. In the beginning, you might find it difficult to kind of cope up with the speed, but it's easy to improve your understandability of fast content by practice. Like, you can start by just watching stuff in 1.25x speed, then once you feel comfortable on that, move to 1.5x, and gradually you'll get to a point where you'll begin to understand all the stuff on 2x speed, and just imagine the amount of time you can spend by just doing this. For example, I watch all my lectures in 2x speed, due to which I can daily consume 14 to 16 hours worth of lectures in just 8 hours, and in the remaining time I can either revise or work on my YouTube channel or might just relax. You can just start by watching this video in 1.25x and save that little amount of time. Next up, we have the 2-minute rule. I've talked a lot about this in my previous videos. So the idea behind this is that if something's gonna take 2 minutes or less, you should do it now instead of putting it on the to-do list. Why? Because you'll most probably forget about it, and when you remember it, you'll procrastinate, and then you'll feel sad, you'll moan about not being productive, and then you'll go to YouTube and watch some video about being procrastination, and that too in 1x speed. Just look at the amount of time you might have saved only if you would have finished it right away. So the next time you come across a task which is worth 2 minutes or less, do it there and then. Now, someone might say, but Aakash, what if we don't feel like doing the stuff in that moment, or we're in the middle of something? Well, the answer to that is the next point, bash out session. So if you don't feel like doing all the smooth stuff in the moment, but you always struggle with finishing them too, then you can just assign some time of the day for all that kind of stuff. For example, if I have to say like make my bed, clean my desk, arrange my books, reply to some DM and some other less time consuming stuff, I'll just simply block out an hour in the day and play a sort of game with myself of how many tasks I can actually bash out in that single session. The fourth one on this list is using keyboard shortcuts. You might think that keyboard shortcuts can save you just a second or two. How can they save you like loads of time? Well, if the most of your work is on a computer, then keyboard shortcuts can really come into handy, and by saving that 1 second every single time, mathematically you can save a minute after every 60 usages, and the list goes on. Let's go to my MacBook screen. Like, if I have to open Safari, the longer way to do is just using the trackpad and pointing out Safari and just pressing it. That's the longer way. The shorter way to do is just simply pressing Command and space and just typing in SA and enter. Just by typing SA, I can go to Safari. It's that fast. And if I'm on Windows, I'll just simply press the Windows key and I'll go to I'll search Chrome. Let's take a more realistic example. Like, if I'm on Notion and I have to set a bulleted list, the longer way to do is pressing this plus icon, searching for bulleted list, here it is, and I'll just click it, I have a bulleted list. But the shorter and faster way to do is just pressing this /D enter, I have a bulleted list. Now, if I have to do this so many times in a day, it's gonna cost me tons of time, but the keyboard shortcut is much faster and can save me a ridiculous amount of time. Making this transition might take some time, but in the longer run, it can be really beneficial. Lastly, we have learn to say no. Well, it's not some productivity hack, but I felt like sharing it in this video. I've actually wasted loads of my time by saying yes to stuff which I later regretted spending time on. So this year, I made a rule for myself that unless it's a hell yes, it's a no for me. Like, I'm not going to invest my time on anyone or anything which I don't feel very excited about. Like, whether it's a gathering or some event or anything, if I don't feel like being there, I won't be there. And if I don't feel like having a chat with someone, I won't engage in that chat. I won't even DM them. And unless it's a hell yes, let's do it, it's a no for me. And this is a lesson which everyone in this generation needs to learn, saying no. And I guess that's it for today. If you got anything from this video, I'd really fancy subscribing and leaving a comment down below about your thoughts on these tips. And thanks for watching. Let's see you in the next one. Bye bye.